Well, at least I thought I could see. Anyway, this is a FS's Growmarks spreader. I have a spreader. It's a Newton Crouch spreader, and it has the spinners, and I will show you what my issue is with that one. This one here has seen some age. Look at that. So my problem with the spinner is it has, and I will show you in the simplicity of this one versus that one, and what I'm going to do with the one that I've got to make it like this one, because this is a much better deal. So you can see that this comes up on this gearbox here is powered by a drive shaft that goes there. The Newton Crouch, and I'll show you the difference, but it goes into this gearbox. This gearbox has a double V belt that goes to this shaft here, and then of course it has a double V belt that is twisted to power the other side. Life is good. Straight lines, straight from there to here, straight from there to here. You just twist the belts and life is good. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your auntie. So there you go, you can spin. Nice. This gearbox here, I think I have one of those. Now I'm going to walk you over to my spreader that I have that, you know, for the most part, we had Cody weld up a new frame for it. I'm going to try and douse that. Cody had a new frame for it, yay. Or built a new frame for it, yay. Got a couple of axles that need to be replaced and can easily be replaced. No problem, just takes money. These things are $20,000 each. Stupid money for a little spreader, you know. That's a 5-ton spreader. This is a 4-ton spreader. Okay, I have spring packages under mine. They've got solid axles. I was thinking of buying the new axle stubs for these axles here. See, I busted that out. I actually think, oh, that's twisted, so that's junk. I was thinking of actually buying these axles here and bolting them underneath here to do away with that nonsense there, and then I could add height to it. But look at this fucked up thing. Excuse my French language or whatever the hell I'm saying. This foobard piece of shit that has always been a problem comes up on here. You take this double V belt and then it goes around the corner, then it goes behind, and then it goes around the corner that way and then back under there. And if anything is out of alignment or a bearing has a little bit of an issue, you're screwed. You are literally screwed. So what I'm thinking of doing is quite simple. I'm thinking of getting a gearbox, obviously, and buying another shaft. These shafts are easy to buy. It's just, I've replaced them a couple years ago. Buy the new shaft. These are 1-inch shafts. It's fine. I don't mind 1-inch shafts. I will buy one that's longer. I will replace this bearing, get rid of that. Put the gearbox here, boom. Somehow make a bracket that comes up off of there, boom, hello, and run directly in there. Turn these into, could probably continue to use these. There's enough belt here that I can just chop all this stuff off of there and make it so that it is like that one, and just get a V-belt that you twist between the two. Life is good, right? Life is good. Should work just fine. That's what I'm going to do, because this is horse shit all the time, having that belt pop off. And if you've seen, Timothy has had lots of troubles with it when we were spreading oats and other things like that. So it just has to be replaced or repaired. If I don't repair it, I got to replace it. And I don't want to replace it. I can repair it. So that's exactly what I am going to do with that. Nobody's in here. That's fine. So anyways, I'm going to go track down my wife. And I got to put fuel in this tractor. But I got to convert this nonsense. I just have to convert that nonsense. It's stupid. I'm going to go see if I can find a gearbox. I'm pretty sure I know right where there is one. Oh, you see that old spreader up there? Over my junk pile that I need to get rid of. I got a lot of junk. I got to get rid of some stuff. Just junk. Just dumpster fodder. Like this old fan. What the hell do I need that fan for? Well, there's copper in that motor, you know. That's why I keep it. There's just old junk piles of junk here. Like there's 2 hydraulic motors right there. I could run those on the spinners, weld couplers to it, and there you go. But I'm pretty sure, almost 99.9% sure, that I have a multitude of gearboxes here that I can use. At least 2. So here it is. It doesn't need to be a super duper gearbox, right? So here's a gearbox. Perfect. 1 inch, 1 inch. Same thing over here. 1 inch. Pop these couplers off of here. Weld up a plate like that. Input shaft. Input shaft here. Boom. It's a 1-to-1. That's what you need. That's what you need. There's a gearbox over here, but it's a reduction gearbox. You don't want that. Yeah, so there's gearboxes. There's gearboxes on all sorts of stuff. I do believe there's a gearbox. There's another gearbox on this header over here. There's gearboxes everywhere around here. I got an old auger floating around here that's got a gearbox in it. 1-to-1 gearboxes. If I really get desperate, I could do this. Look at these guys, right? Right, there's no gearbox on this side, but over on the other side I think there is. Yeah, I could use these, pop these things off, put couplers on them, boom, good. There you go. Yeah, there's another one of these gearboxes right here, auger gearbox. And I'm pretty sure there's another piece of equipment around here that oh, right over there. There might be a gearbox on that old Wilmar, but I don't think so. That I don't think so. I don't remember. I think that's got the same stupid belt system, but I'm going to change that. I have to. I'm just tired of that thing jumping off and causing me an ass ache. So anyways, that's in the plans for this next couple of days, really. So we're working at the sweatshop. Got my Asian in the sweatshop, right?
What?
You in the sweatshop?
Oh my God.
You ain't got it yet.
I know.
How tight are they?
Engine.
They're Asian tight.
Look at Tim.
Well, Tim's trying to break something. At least it's gonna be super close. I'm just wondering if it's just this closing arm, because this one doesn't seem like it's that close. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, it's going to close the trench. It's definitely going to close the trench, and it's going to be closer than I want it to be. So I know I don't have enough of those shims, and it's a shame that these don't fit, because these are really designed for the. Yeah, you guys, you can't beat them like that. You'll bust the fuck out of them. Anyway, it's designed for the ones that have the bolts. And I'm not doing that. I'm just going to have to modify it, that's all. We'll modify it and make it work.
On the box.
If I have. Okay, so we're in preliminary nightmare phase of this corn planter. So everything was put completely back together, got all the seed discs in. New seals. I put new seals in. The meters. All these little bastards are expensive for what they are. Like $6 a piece, I think, from Deere. I bought them from Deere. They're Deere meters with precision parts inside, which is fine. So, all right. So the next phase of foolishness is this computer monitor. Now I've plugged it in already, and I've ran the system. And the first thing it does is tell me, watch it scan. So it says there's a failed sensor there, right? So I'll tell you what you do, what I've done. Let me get this to the right one. I have turned those rows off. Yeah. That one was off. That one was off. And we can do this, row select, and there it goes. What's going to happen is if I was to get going here, I'm going to shut it off. Hopefully y'all can see this. I'm going to turn it back on. It's going to tell me every one that is not working. Row 2, row 12, and row 14. Those 3 rows are not functioning. Okay. Well, we can do this. I have a tester here that I kind of made up. I had an extra sensor here. I had a feeling that it would be this row. When it's one of these rows, it would start to fail. So hold on a second. Tim, can you plug this in?
Sure.
He can plug that in. And we'll go back over here and we'll see what happens. So you got it plugged in?
Yep.
So you're going to shut it off. And we know that it's row 2, 12, and 14. We got 12 and 14 now. So I know that it's a sensor. There. So the next thing we can do is we've taken one box off, but I didn't did I disconnect that one?
I don't know.
So I got 12 and 14. John Deere has this thing and it's unavailable now. All of this wiring harness, unavailable, which is fine. I don't much care. What I care about is how much of this mess is related to this mess. And I need to be able to see what's inside in order to diagnose my problem. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull that apart. Just going to turn you all around. You can watch this in real time and you can say, no, you're doing it wrong. That's okay, because I don't much care. Ugh. I'm pretty certain that if I take these slip joint pliers, somebody told me to use some kind of special tools, and I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, we're going to use some special tools. I'd agree with that if I had them, but I just don't got them. No, that's not what I want. I want this guy. This. I've got a headache. If anybody knows about food problems, eating foods that have a tendency to want to kill you, like with preservatives. It's a blessing in disguise, I guess you could say, if you're able to see my ugly mug here. I cannot eat preserved food anymore. It gives me such a headache, I just can't even function. So at 3 o'clock this morning, I woke up and I was like, felt like somebody hit me in the head with a sledgehammer. Just pummeled me in the head with a sledgehammer. So all right, so I've got that apart. I can see there's probably more than 10 different problems in here, but we're gonna find. All right, so I've discovered that this plug is okay. These wires that are broke off, or supposedly broke off, they're not. They were intentionally left off of the pins. They don't do anything back there. Probably for something different, like a radar or something. Anyway, and the reason I know that is because on this plug here, I dug out those 3 wires, the black one, the white one with the black stripe, and the red one with the white stripe, and none of them were attached to pins. So, on both sides it wasn't attached to pins, and I've pulled them to see what I could come up with, and they seem like everything's attached in there. So my thoughts are that it's not here, right? Not here. Not really a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. I'm not going to leave those wires exposed like that. I'm going to come back in. I got some electrical tape or something. I will tape that up so that it's pretty nice, and then I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about it. I think that my rolls of tape are in the tool truck, but I'm going to tape them up real nice and probably, call that a day. And I'm going to move to the back. I got my reading glasses on, so let me move to the back and we'll take that harness apart. So we're going to come back here. These are the splitters. This one here, I have no idea where it comes from. or where it goes. It's attached there somehow. Hey. Wow. But they've got this goo here. And I could almost bet you money that this one here, I don't know where that one goes. It goes up the line. And then these come here, because there should be, yeah. There's nothing wrong with this. It's here because this is what comes from where I was just at. And it goes into this, which splits 3 rows right, 3 rows left. I've got this row here that's not functioning, and I got that row there that's not functioning. Those are number 12 and number 14. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that apart and see what the deal is. There could be something funky in there. There could be something funky in there. And yeah, then we'll get into some other stuff. I just want to make sure that this row unit works. These 2 row units work. All right, not to be too big of a pain in the ass, but I've disconnected this and I've turned on my computer, and it has done away with from 10 to 24. The first 9 are okay. So what I'm going to do now is because I'm trying to do some diagnostic, I got to figure out where this is at. So what I'm going to do is disconnect here, right? And I'm going to hook it up here, because what I'm trying to do is isolate this issue. Where the heck is that thing? Wait, no? Oh, there we go. If I can isolate this issue, right? If I can isolate this issue to the back 6 rows, then I know it's in the back harness. And it's not up there, which I know it's not up there. I know it's not up there. I just got this terrible feeling. So I've turned this off now. I'm going to turn it on, and it should say 10 to 14, right? 10 to 16. 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 10 to 15. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 6. All right, so row 12 and row 14 claim that they are broken. Okay. I'm going to plug that into my test subject here. Because if that thing is testing out, it should be just fine. Let me go see what happens. I'll be right back. So I've checked these out, right? And my thought process is pretty simple. I believe that some of the guys that were, I don't know though, these 2 rows were turned off on the computer when I plugged it in. Even though it's checking out there, why isn't it checking out up there? And this, yeah, what the hell? It could be in the other side of this plug. It could be. Doubtful, but it could be. Yeah. And the other thing is, if everything does check out, which it may very well check out, these 2 boxes or these 2 units were turned off in the computer, so I know there's something going on. But it could, there's been a couple of guys say, oh, it'll throw that error code if you're not running seed through them. Well, that may be, I don't know. But I'm telling you, it's these two units. I would think that there would be phantom units. You know, it would be like, oh, this time it's 12 and 14, next time it's 13 and 23, the next time it's 9 and 8, you know, and go so on and so forth. But it's not doing that. It's 12 and 14 consistently. I've put my test unit there, that test unit that I made up on, and it doesn't change anything. So I'm pretty confident that there is something wrong, either here at the plug, which I'm thinking that it's not at the plug because I've tugged on everything and it's not broke off, but it's somewhere between this and there, and that has to be addressed right now. So anyways, I'm gonna see if I can find something, and then when Tim gets here, we'll do the test on it. Okay, so we checked it out. This wire is good. Those wires are good. We went all the way from there to where Timothy is standing, right there. I've got to strip back a little bit there, and we worked our way all the way to the front and did the same thing way up here. You see those two yellow lines or two yellow circles? Those are the two wires that don't work. So I'm going to walk around to the other side here just because I can, and I'll show you. It looks terrible. It's got a bunch of crap all around it, and this is where it plugs into the monitor. So this is the spot that it probably broke off at. So we're gonna figure that one out. Anyway. Well, that's kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, so the other day I came on here and I spun oats on, and it was too wet to do anything with. So there's the oats. It was too wet to do anything with. And of course we have not had any moisture. So the oats are just bird seed right now. Then I came and I put potash, and I threw that on the top. Now potash has a lot of chlorine in it, which is not something I really like for the biology that I'm dealing with. But if you throw it on and you let it set for a while before you work it in, the chlorine goes out of it, it gasifies, and then you're good. So I gotta move, but so I got Teresa coming with she's running the VT. She's moving a pretty good clip, 11.1 mile an hour, which is fine. I had put rye on last fall, and because of the drought, the herbicide was still active enough that it killed the rye. The rye came up and it was growing. It was actually growing. And then this spring I came out and it was all gone. I mean, not all gone. You can still see bits of it here. But for the most part, not really worth it. So there's your rooster tail. I'm going to have to move. I think she's going to hit me. She would run me over. But yeah, you can see some of the rye, but I just felt that it was a better idea to run before she runs me over. Oh, it's cool hand Luke here. You're cold?
Yeah, can it?
Well, I'll turn the AC down. There.
Why are you spreading that?
There she goes. I already spread across from the liquor store. I don't know what took you so long, but yeah. And then I'm going to go over to the other place.
What?